7.5 laps of the track. Andy Badley, well, you heard what he said. He's glad it's this type of race. I don't think anybody was a fan of the devil take the hindmost format that we had a couple of years ago. But Andy, one of the world's best milers a couple of years ago, and that is an athlete who's superbly equipped to handle quite a slow pace in the 3000, which I think it's going to be, and then a big sprint finish coming. On the left-hand side there, wearing the Spanish vest, the Spanish colours, Juan Carlos Higuera, Olympic finalist, along with Badley in the 1500 metres. The man that everybody will want to beat is the wily old fox from Portugal, Rui Silva, world indoor champion at 1500, almost a decade ago. And Andy Badley quite content, Steve, to sit at the back of the field at the moment and just watch and wait to see what sort of race develops.
Well, that's not a bad place to be. The early pace is never going to be particularly fast, and he'll just keep an eye on things. Yes, I mean, you mentioned Silva will be a danger. Also Higuera of Spain, who Andy Badley is just behind. I think Higuera might be the one you'll really watch. Silva has actually run a 10,000 this year, and he's been kind of on the roads and running 10,000s, 5,000s. He's not as quick as he used to be at 1500 metres, but he is still going to be a danger. He's tucked on the inside in the green of Portugal, and Andy Badley more than happy to be at the back for the time being as they jog through these first 600 metres.
So Emma Perkins, the bar set at 1.80 metre for her. What will be a first attempt. The remaining athletes in this competition have all cleared, well, we've got 7 athletes who have cleared this height so far. Just that slight wobble at 1.70 metre.
At 1.80 for Emma Perkins.
Emma Perkins, an immensely talented athlete, used to compete against Jessica Ennis and Louise Hazel, the prominent athletes for Great Britain at the moment. Used to compete against them and get victories against them as a junior. And again, superb clearance in terms of how high she is over the bar, but just clipping it with her lower legs. Going to have to make an adjustment in order to clear that height and stay in the competition. So, failure at that height, 180, 2 attempts remaining.
Andy Badley still at the back now, just begins to make a move. The pace has increased a wee bit. The Russian Nikolaev leading ahead of Platonov of Belarus. And the big tall German there, Schwartz. Higuera, the Spaniard, still there in the top 6. Rui Silva in the red and green of Portugal is still there too. And I'm sure after quite a slow first kilometre, they really are going to begin to pick up the pace now. That's normally expected at these sort of European Cup, European Team Championship races. And now the field, for the first time in the race, Steve, is beginning to really be strung out.
They are, and he won't keep that up. And the thing not to do is to panic when somebody goes off the front like that. And Andy Badley just moving his way through nicely. He'll be keeping an eye on Higuera. And there you see, he's already slowing down. I mean, if he'd managed to keep that pace going, well, would have been, he should be running in the major Diamond League races. But that's what tends to happen. Somebody goes to the front and kind of picks it up, and everyone sort of panics a little bit. But he's obviously, after that 73 or so first lap, first 600 was very slow. He decided to get things moving along, which is a good thing. As I said at the beginning, I'm just really interested to see how Andy conducts himself here, and particularly we were talking on Friday about tactics and the last lap of races, the last lap of 1500 metre races, and where you put yourself and when you deliver yourself to the front, etc. And for a very intelligent man, which Andy Badley is, he sometimes hasn't always made the best decisions, and I think he has admitted that over the years, and particularly last year, as I said, I thought it was a huge opportunity for him which he wasn't able to grasp. So how he bounces back from that this year is very important, and of course looking forward towards next year as well.
Well, the last 3 laps have been paced at 73, 67 and 62, so the expected increase in pace has happened. Still the Russian leading, Nikolaev. Rui Silva, he's not going to hang around and wait for a last lap sprint. He's there sitting quite comfortably in second place. Schwartz of Germany in third. And the athlete that Andy Badley mentioned in his interview, the Frenchman Johan Koval, European indoor bronze medalist at 1500 metres in the blue and red of France. There too, Higuera in the top 5 with the Belarusian trapped on the inside. And Andy Badley just taking close order now with 3 laps to go.
Well, that was pretty much a 64-second lap, so that initial injection of pace is settling back down again. That's why they've all grouped up, and that's why we're back into the situation we were. I don't think he's going to get any quicker from here. So what will start to happen now is we'll look to those names, the likes of Silva, who's looking behind. He can see probably the red of Higuero just taking closer order. Andy Badley not too far away, and Kowal, as you mentioned, the big threat, the Frenchman who's got a pretty good finish. And I just hope Andy can, as I said, stay close enough to those guys when the kick does come, that he's able to react quickly enough. He doesn't want to give them 3-4 metre head start on the last lap and have to come from too far behind. He needs to be as close as he possibly can when the race really gets moving.
Nikolaev leading for Russia. Silva for Portugal. Kowal of France is there too. Coming through now with 800 metres to go. Nikolaev still leading. Andy Badley sitting back in 7th place at the moment, but sticking close to that leading group. La Rosa of Italy has moved up into that top group for the very first time, just behind Schwartz of Germany. And now I think we can expect a real big push for the finish, being led still by Nikolaev. And important, I think, that Rui Silva is still up there as Kowal of France takes the lead, and so is Higuero up there. And Andy Badley has spotted the danger. 600 metres to go, and now the pace really is beginning to increase.
And this is where I talked about the decision making. This is where Andy Badley has got to think about what he's doing here. Where does he want to be? At the moment he's thinking, well, I'm happy to sit behind him. I'm happy behind Higuero and Kowal. And he's got a lot of confidence in his kick, and when it's there, it would be good enough to beat most of these guys. But he's got to be close. He's in a good position. He's come out wide. He's right where he wants to be as they approach the bell. Nikolaev is back in front. Kowal, that brief push to the front. He's now found himself blocked on the inside. But Andy Badley, you see, he's just let them move away another 3-4 metres.
Well, if Andy Badley moves up, he'll have his highest position in the race so far. He's been quite subdued in the race so far, but now the pace is beginning to increase. He's looking more comfortable. Nikolaev leads for Russia. Higuero for Spain. Silva is there too. Kowal of France. La Rosa, Andy Badley. He's got to get close by the 200-metre mark to make his presence felt. Nikolaev at the front, rocking and rolling a little bit, but watch out for Silva just behind him. Silva does have a big kick. Kowal, the Frenchman, is going too, and a bit of a gap developing between those four and Andy Badley now. Bad news for Great Britain. Andy Badley's going to have to come wide. Nikolaev just hanging on in there, but here comes Higuero, the Spaniard. Higuero's going to win it. Nikolaev in 2nd place. Silva just ahead of Andy Badley in 4th. 8:03.43. So the expected 11 points for Andy Badley. That has been cut by 2 points. He finishes in 4th place. Tactical from start to finish. And Andy Badley was perhaps, 3 or 4 metres adrift with 200 to go, and that was the difference at the end.
Look, I don't like to be too critical. This is, it's not easy. Andy's probably not quite in the shape he wants to be, but I still think, at the bell, just there's a 5-metre gap. There's Silva starting to kick. They're all starting to move. And Andy finishes as good as anybody in the home straight, but he's coming from too far back. Even at this point here, they're moving, and he's struggling to get the acceleration in there. That's already happened, and because it happened a little bit further back when he was in 5th or 6th place, you're struggling to get on terms with him here. And now he's got to try and strengthen it out down the home straight. They're all changing gear here. Kowal's changing gear. Higuero's coming out. Andy Badley's now moving out, but he's coming from 5 metres adrift. And I don't know. As I said, I can't say he's run terribly here, but I think 4th place in this race is something which he'll probably be a little disappointed with. Particularly, look how quickly he's finishing there, and he ends up 3 metres from winning this race, maybe 3.5 metres. And I don't know. As I said, we've talked about Andy a lot over the years. I'd be interested to get his thoughts on whether he thought he was in the right place and how he was able to react over the last 200 metres. 4th place, though.
I think, Steve, Andy Badley is such an honest man. He's such an honest athlete. He would pretty much read it the same way as you just did. And I'm sure that will be reflected in his interview.
I think the other thing to say, it's early, you know, and Andy will want some races to really build his speed as well. He's run 1/800 this year, not a particularly good race in Oslo, as I said earlier on. But I just think this is the sort of race he might have thought I could maybe win this year. Aguero's a good athlete, Silva's a good athlete, of course he is. But as I said, in the end he wasn't too far away from it. Just if he'd been a bit closer, who knows what might have happened.
Well, no real surprise about Higuera coming through to win that. He was a class act in the field before it even started.